Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4 of Sky Factory. Been doing quite a lot of work in the downtime between them. We've got ourselves our flint meshes. I've expanded our basement area substantially, getting ready to go ahead and put some machinery down there. And speaking of which, I've got pretty much all the resources we need to go ahead and get started with that. So you can see this pile of resources over here, and that's going to be our first step, and it does help if I remember which way around things go. So making a couple of different machines. The first one we're going to make today is going to be a consumer of power, and then the second one will be a generator of that power. So for those of you who are fairly familiar with Ender.io, it does help if I get the right way around. The sag mill will let us turn the cobblestone and gravel, or cobblestone into gravel, into sand, and then into dust, so we can start automatically getting that, and I won't have to be standing there using a hammer for ages on end. The next part, and this is a recipe I'm not super familiar with, so let's just double check. Yes. Is for that furnace generator that we talked about previously. This, of course, is going to provide the power that we need for our sag mill. Missing one piece of redstone. Thought I'd got enough out, apparently not. So there we go. That will then let us burn coal or charcoal to power our devices. We'll also make an alloy smelter in the not too distant future. Right, where do we want to put this? I think we're going to want power kind of over here to begin with. This will all get moved around as soon as we get well, don't even need a power conduit. Excellent. So yeah, this will all get moved around once we start getting more of the automation going. How does this actually kick out? I think it might be doing it at 40 RF per tick, which is fine. This only uses 20, so it will still fill up as it starts producing for us. So there we go, we can leave that running. Now that's not a perfect 1-for-1, but it's good enough right now. What we will want to be doing is starting to look at getting our cobblestone automatically down to it, which could easily just be done by moving it into it, but I still also need cobblestone itself. So sifting is of course the next process, and we can make an auto-sieve. That requires a fair amount of iron, so 20 pieces of iron, which is a bit more than we've got currently to hand, so that won't be something we do just yet. But yay, actually getting resources. So in the meantime, I'm going to need to carry on sieving gravel for this to try and get diamonds, and we'll also be looking at further parts that we get from that. Put flint in there for now. Oh, just as a side note, you can put flint into the sag mill, and that will also then increase the rate at which it drops resources. So you increase your chances of getting additional effects from your don't think there's anything that's exclusive to that though. I think it is a case of simply just boosting the chance. So, what else can we focus on today? Well, these tools I've got down here are quite slow in the gathering of things, so let's look at increasing those. Let's take those back out from there, and let's increase the axe that we've got. So we need to make ourselves another axe head, this time with flint, and then go to our tool station, and we can upgrade our hatchet. So we go from having a mining speed of 2 to a mining speed of 5 and substantially more durability. So we take that, and then much quicker to break the blocks than before. So very useful to have. So while I don't need as much as I had been previously, I still want to be filling this out. Right, let's just put the cobblestone in there for now. So this space here I'm going to want to be filling with the compacting drawers, and I think it's time to get a couple of those. Let's put that in there for now. He says thinking, do we have enough resources? I think we do. As I'll be spending time getting more iron between episodes anyway. We're going to need 2 pistons. Yeah, should be fine. Oh yeah, need 1 more piece of iron for the drawers themselves. So, step 1, make 2 chests, make some slabs, and make some half drawers. Now, while I'm not wanting to put the half drawers themselves down, this is the most cost efficient wood to drawers ratio for making the compacting drawers themselves. So make ourselves 2 pistons, and then I need smooth stone, don't I? Smelt that up. Let's just go and put some more. Another quartz stack in there for now. Just add some more power to that. So one of the other additions I made during the gap was a juicer, simply so I could get carrot juice. It's a lot better than spending my resources cooking potatoes, and it's also much better than just eating the carrots themselves raw. Right, so put our resources in, and we get ourselves our first compacting drawer. Compacting drawers are really useful, in that you can put 1 type of resource in there and it will give you access to all 3 types. So gold being something we have in 2 stages. If we put that into there, we've now got all of our gold accessible in whatever form. So we've got 1 block plus 3 ingots, so essentially we've got 12 ingots, and then still got 5 nuggets left over. One of the other things you may have seen is the oak. I would say it's a trim. I would say they're not oak trims, despite what way they're saying. These connect the drawers to each other, so when I put something that can interact with the whole drawers, namely the controller itself, this lets it wrap around the corners and through hidden places. So I'll have trims going underneath from the controller, which will be basically here underneath to the walls, and it will see it all, which is very useful. And I forget whether that was something I'd done last time. I don't think it was. So I've added a nice little step rather than jumping up it every time. I just like the way that you can do these kind of things with chisel and bits. When we get to a blood altar, you'll see something similar. That's a firm favourite of mine. Right, so looking at around about 10 minutes, we've got a little bit more time. So what can we do in the meantime? I don't really want to be sitting and sifting a ton of things on camera. So yeah. Oh, we haven't done the achievement book in a little while. Let's sort that out. So we've built our second layer. We've made a Tinker's Construct tool from bone and flint now. So we've completed our wood age. We need to start thinking about making a dark room and making a field grass. I mean, the animal's not too worried about getting that too soon. Tinker's Construct would also be something to do. Prepare farming space for several crops. Well, we've done that. And we've made a mattock. And we're using blocks of snout. So yeah, that's I think we've completed on those so far. So making a dark room, yeah, that's going to be our next bit really. We'll go off in this direction for the dark room. Let's give ourselves a reasonable looking for big tiles. So from the centre, just give ourselves our illuminated part, make sure we aren't letting enemies spawn on the walkway. We don't want them spawning on the walkway. We're going to build something big at the end of that to have them all die in. That will also take a bunch of iron, because what I want to use is hoppers at the bottom of it to collect the drops. Doesn't need to be a particularly big room, just as long as it's got a way of having things die in it, and an area in which they can spawn. We want to get ender pearls, and maybe potentially have a way of having a way to kill things, but I think that might come later. I think automating it for now is going to be more important than having a way for us to manually kill them. We can add that in much more easily a little bit later than putting it in now. So what I need is more rice, as we've only got 5 pieces. Gonna need a bunch of that to stand in for slime on vector plates. And these are an amazing tool. So we'll work on getting enough rice together to make the rice balls that will stand in there. I'll just expand this out a little bit and carry on sieving in between episodes. So big progress made with those 2 very small machines. For the amount that those of important. They don't take up a lot of space at all. So we'll be sieving a ton of gravel through the iron sifting mesh to try and get some diamonds, and also to get ourselves enough iron. We may still be sifting for redstone as well, so that's going to be probably the big deciding factor between several machines later. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next episode.